Well, hello everyone and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV on PlayFrame. Look at this beautiful sunny sky. Look at it. I have a good feeling about today. Or at the very least, I'm going to enjoy this while it lasts. Anyway, we've left Alice and Yuguri just standing here bored for 2 whole days, and that's rude. So, even now, I'm astonished by it. Right, you said that last time. Alice seems eager to discuss the Council's decision with the other Scions. Well, as much as I enjoy the bustle of the toll, I think it's time we headed inside. My brother and the others will not be long. Yes, let's do. We've plans to figure out. Ah, you returned from the Council. But what of Elfino? Did some other matter require his attention? Mine apologies, friends. I trust we've not kept you waiting overlong. Greetings, everyone. Oh, Kryl, how's Nago doing? She will be all right, won't she? I don't see why not. She's sleeping at the moment. Tataru's keeping an eye on her, so we'll know soon enough if there's any change in her condition. Her wounds are healing well. With sufficient rest, I'm certain she will make a full recovery. Thank goodness for that. Now, mayhap you would share with us the Council's decision. Each of the nations, Ishgard included, has committed to providing military support to Gridania. The Eorzean Alliance will soon have a significant force in the Black Shroud, ready to respond to any Imperial act of aggression. You know, I almost wish the Council would stop messing around and give the Griffin what he wants. I wouldn't like to be the Imperial caught between the Resistance and the Alliance. Ida, you cannot seriously... One does not lightly go to war with the Garlean Empire. Quite. To open hostilities without due consideration would be to invite disaster. If only there was some way to reach the Griffin. Some means to convince him to abandon his reckless course. It may not be entirely unfeasible. There is a network of tunnels beneath Baelsar's wall, secret passages dug by the Resistance to provide a way out of Alamigo, which may equally serve as a way in. Precisely. If all are in agreement, I would be the one to undertake the necessary negotiations. I am familiar with the route, and the Resistance is familiar with me. About as familiar as they are with me, you mean? Say what you want, I'm coming too. I have some experience in the practice of infiltration. If you would have me, my services are at your disposal. As are mine. It's been far too long since I shared a shadow with a shinobi, and I do not intend to waste the opportunity. 4 is quite sufficient for an infiltration mission. Greater numbers will only serve to increase the risk of detection. Kryl and I will direct our energies elsewhere. What of you, Leveilleurs? I'll return to the East Shroud and stand watch over the border. Should matters take a turn for the worse, 'twould seem wise to be on hand. Might I prevail upon you to accompany me, Derman? Gridania will be safer for your presence, and while it may not seem the most thrilling duty, dear sister, might I ask that you remain at the Rising Stones to pass on messages and so on? To hold the fort, you mean? Very well. I suppose the task must fall to someone. Safe travels, all of you. Well, all right. We have our assignment. Oh, good, and not everyone's left yet. And there's so many people, goodness. Are all of you still in the same configuration? You're not? Oh boy. People moving around. Any updates? I wonder what Isildur would have to say about our wounded visitor. His own injuries keep him yet abed, and I miss savoring a cup of tea alongside his usual observations. This is so sweet. What a nice little side little bit to remind you these characters exist and that they're continuing to have lives while we do our adventures. I like it. We were all surprised by our sudden visitor, but Hori was able to gauge the situation at a glance. He realized the Mikote posed no immediate threat and permitted her to enter. But that didn't mean he wasn't alert for some manner of trap. Ah yes, mayhap the Elder is the finer man after all. Make up your mind, I guess. I believe she said her name was Minago? Her cause appeared to have been genuine, but I must confess to feeling no small degree of trepidation even as I stepped aside. How are you holding up in these trying times? We have some training in the healing arts, so we shall take turns with the Mistress Kryl in caring for her patient. Ochre in particular seems rather eager to learn from the experience. Gotten over it, have we? Mistress Kryl and Archon Y'shtola are truly exceptional healers, and 'twas an honor to witness their ministrations firsthand. If only I could tend to my brother's battle hurts with such proficiency. I have much study yet ahead of me. Even when casting the same incantation, the mastery of each practitioner greatly affects the efficacy of the spell, a principle that was aptly demonstrated to our young 2 mages here. Neat. Hey, how are you doing? Tataru and Kryl took the Resistance fighter to more private chambers that she might recuperate in peace. The poor girl was in quite a state, wasn't she? And you, how do you feel about holding the fort? I suspect Tataru would have little trouble facilitating communication between our forces under normal circumstances. But I concede, she has her hands full nursing that Resistance fighter back to health. No matter, my turn in the field will come. Oh, it shall, don't you worry. Yes, y'all haven't left. Now, I'm no ninja, but I did spend some few moons in the Sharlayan homeland, learning how to move unseen. Between Yuguri and my humble self, Ida and Papalimo will be well protected. I have no doubt. My fellow shinobi require little encouragement to take their place amongst the Alliance forces massing in Gridania. They are most eager to cross blades with the armies of Garlemald once more. Oh, I bet. I may perhaps have exaggerated my standing with the Resistance a little, but I am confident that I have a reasonable chance of putting a stop to this madness before events spiral out of control. Yes, fair to middling at the very least. All I'm saying is that it wouldn't be the worst thing if we ended up joining the Griffin's fight against the Empire. I mean, it's going to happen sooner or later, isn't it? I mean, probably. If you have any unfinished business in the toll, I pray attend to it now. I would depart for the Hawthorne Hut without delay. The nearby watchtower offers an unobstructed view of Baelsar's wall, and I should be interested to speak to Alliance commanders who have installed themselves at its top. Well, then let's be off. You lead and I follow. Except, no, actually, I'm going to take a shortcut. Following seems like something that would have made my feet hurt after a while. Ah, Derman, there you are. Come, hang on. Amarise, I guess? Come, Amarise's spire awaits. The Alliance officers on the platform should be able to apprise us of any developments at the wall. On the one hand, I've gotten lots of French-adjacent pronunciation practice through Heavensward. On, the downside, we're not in Heavensward anymore, so now French-adjacent names can catch me on the back foot when I'm not ready. Oh well. Fancy meeting the two of you here. We were about to set forth. Indeed. I was about to say 12 watch over you, but I doubt you have need of divine protection, even if you are venturing into enemy territory. Don't worry, Alphino. We'll have the Griffin by the scruff of the neck before you know it. Do make up your mind, Ida. Nary a moment ago you seemed ready to shake the Griffin by the hand rather than the neck. So which is it to be? 'Twould be best to decide before we enter into negotiations. Trust me, Papalimo, I'll shake whatever needs shaking. The talking part I leave to you. I think I feel a headache coming on. Let's be on our way, shall we? I've missed those two. Some things never change. Well then, shall we make for the spire? Our Alliance friends will doubtless have news for us. Alright. Where is this spire of yours? I'm sure we've been there, it's just been a long time. Man, remember this place? Ages ago. So, here's the spire, I think. Yeah. And here is Baelsar's wall. Like I said, yesterday, I think. Enemy territory border is just right here, and it has been from the start. Beyond there is just entirely Empire-controlled terrain, and far beyond there is Alamigo. And we seem to be headed in that direction, slowly but surely. Welcome, Warrior of Light. I assume you're here to speak with our commanding officers? You will find them on the observation platform. Pray, proceed. Greetings, my friends. 'Tis good to see you both well. I was hoping you might turn up. I've dragged half the watch here, see, and the sight of you might help remind them why we bothered. If memory serves, I've not seen many of you since the day of the Grand Melee. Having borne the brunt of your blows, may I say what an honor it is to stand at your side. Likewise. 'Tis heartening indeed to see the realm's most stalwart defenders thus gathered in common cause. Speaking of which, what news from the wall? All has been quiet. Well, that didn't take long. Report. What? Seven hells. Fighting has broken out on top of the wall. A full-scale assault. So the Griffin has made his move. Someone has. And what's that supposed to mean? The attackers, they're wearing Grand Company colors. Impossible. We gave no such order. Of course. The wall was never the Griffin's target. It was bait. We've been goaded into deploying our armies nearby, thus lending weight to this deception. If those uniforms were convincing enough to deceive my scouts, the Empire will surely think we've launched an offensive. This could mean war. Even so, this may yet be no more than a diversion. With the armies of the Alliance occupying the Empire's attention, it would be comparatively easy for the Griffin's supporters to slip into Alamigo. He could then incite a rebellion against the populace, which the Imperial reserves would be hard-pressed to contain. Eorzea, meanwhile, will be plunged into chaos. Derman, we must make for the wall at once. What? Just the two of you? Our companions embarked on a mission to sway the Griffin from his course, and are likely halfway to his command post by now. They will emerge in the midst of a raging battle, and I do not mean to abandon them to their fate. It will be dangerous, aye, but the confusion may work to our advantage. If we're careful to avoid the skirmishing, it may yet be possible to reach the Griffin. And if we can do that... Lady Hilda, might I ask that you have an airship ready to bear the Scions to safety? Huh. I don't know who this Lady Hilda is, Marshal, but you can count on me. We must prepare for Imperial reprisals. May the Navigator guide us through the storm. Forward, comrades! The time has come to drive the Empire from Alamigo and force action upon those who've turned their backs to our suffering for so long. Let this victory be the first step in the liberation of our homeland. Alamigo will be free, no matter the cost. Boy, that escalated quickly. And also, time of day is really ping-ponging right now. Alpha no. Sir, As per Marshal Tarpin's orders, we will provide a feint to cover your advance. May the crystal light your way forward. Much appreciated. Well, you ready? From what Papalimo told me, the trail ahead should lead us into the shadow of the wall. As we have two objectives, I suggest we divide our forces. I shall make straightaways for the tunnels and attempt to intercept our comrades ere they stumble into a bloodbath. While I do so, I must ask that you scale the wall. Know that I would not propose such a course if there were any other way, but the time for subtleties past. Take a band of your most trusted companions and cut a path through to the Griffin. Make him see reason, by any means necessary. Once we're free of the tunnels, we'll make for your position with all due haste. And if everything proceeds according to plan, Hilda will then swoop in and spirit us all away to safety. I only pray that we have enough time. And here we are. The final dungeon of the Heavensward patches. And quite a good one, too. Let me go ahead and get a crew together, and then we'll wait until night comes again, I guess, and then we'll go do a thing. One moment. And there we are. The gang's all here. Tanking today will be Nismith. Our healer will be Blair, and helping me with the damage, actually probably providing the majority of the damage, especially because I'm not quite back to full speed on Monk, will be Nauka as a dancer. Very exciting. Let's get in on this very good dungeon. Baelsar's Wall. Marking the border between the Black Shroud and Garabania, the legacy of Gaius van Baelsar is a towering monument to imperial tyranny. And now smoke rises from its iron crenellations. In a bid to drag the armies of Eorzea into the struggle for Alamegan liberation, the Griffin and his resistance fighters have disguised themselves in Grand Company uniforms and laid siege to Baelsar's Wall. While Alphino seeks to call your companions back from their now meaningless mission of diplomacy, you must ascend the war-torn fortification by the swiftest route possible, and persuade the Griffin, by force if necessary, to abandon his reckless ambition. We shall try, shan't we? Let's go! A real fun aspect to the music in this one is that it incorporates some of the, oh, you can hear it now, the Black Shroud music and themes, which I quite like. It's very nice. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining. Let's go do a fight. Except Nismith, I'll let you run in front because you're the tank, see, and I shouldn't be getting people's attention too early. Let's punch stuff. Imperials specifically. Boy, Monk is fun, even when you're doing it badly. Apologies to any Monk players who have to watch for a while. The rest of you won't know the difference. All right, just through this terminal, we will see our first boss. The Magitech Predator. With a really familiar looking design, but I can't... Is this a Final Fantasy VI look? It really looks like one. Deploy Sky Armor units! I probably better do some damage to those, huh? Especially since they're targeting us. There we are. Don't like that. I'm gonna carry that over here. Not much to say about this boss, really. It'll just occasionally target you with the thing you should carry away from everyone else. And on occasion, ads will come in targeting us damage dealers and healers that should be taken out as soon as possible. And that's about it. Moving on. So this is a kind of fun little stretch here. We'll be riding around on a platform through this space. and getting attacked by flurries of enemies every now and then. It's basically an elevator, but what if horizontal? And it's always fun having a big cluster of enemies to just unleash all of your big AoE attacks on. Very satisfying seeing a lot of health bars disappear. One last little cluster of giant things to punch in the ankle, and then I think this is gonna carry us to our next boss. Whee! There you are. The armored weapon. Now this one's got a little bit more to watch out for. Ah, the motion sensory jammer. We are not to move. If any of us move or use any of our abilities, that happens. I moved, you see. Yeah. Look out. So anytime that pops up, we need to like probably face ourselves away from the enemy. I don't know if basic attacks still count as a move, but I always play it safe. Just whoop, okay. Just facing my character away from the boss entirely. Yeesh. Here it comes again. All right, facing away. Not doing anything. Not doing anything. Hey! Didn't get punished this time. Hooray! Oh, that's a lot of them. Yeah, it is. Take them all out. There we go. Motion tracking one more time. Never mind, we broke it. Good job, team. We press on. Hey, we can see the top of the wall from here. We're almost there. Now we're on top of the wall. And look at here, some of the enemies attacking us dressed in Grand Company garb. Good touch. We've made it to the last boss. The Griffin awaits. Illbird. You might have seen that one coming. Still, good to see him in punching range again. Here we go. I'll give you a glorious end, warrior of light. Come, see what awaits you at the far edge of fate.
Yeah. How'd you like this?
What a suitably dramatic arena for a dramatic fight. Oop, the Griffin does have you jump around a lot.
Sloppy.
Gotta be moving quick. Can't be sloppy.
I'll tear you limb from limb. Yeah. Sloppy. For Al Amigo!
There's a few mechanics to watch out for in this fight. See all the flaming swords coming down? They're hard to miss.
I have you now.
There will be quite an explosion of damage around these pretty soon here, so we're gonna want to take out at least one of them. This one's as good as any.
How'd you like this?
And he's still throwing other mechanics at us in the meantime, like the scary eye you gotta look away from. But now we're safe, now that that sword's destroyed. Yep. So now we gotta move fast.
Sloppy. Yeah. Yeah.
I do appreciate that bosses. Oop. Someone's been tied up. That's not gonna work for us. Break the restraint collar.
Yeah.
There we go. I do like that bosses actually have VO in fights now. At least story ones, you know? It's a good addition. Okay. Now I'm just gonna jump right to you.
Sloppy.
Don't want to get caught up in that. We've almost got him.
For Alamigo!
Oop. Fire swords are back.
I have you now.
Ow.
Yeah.
Break the sword.
How'd you
Then
like
him.
this?
Sword first, though. Whoop. Don't look at that. Now hit him.
Yeah!
Almost.
Sloppy.
There we go. Well done, crew. And thank you very much for the help. Very glad y'all could join me for this very good story dungeon. And I do appreciate the help because, yeah, that was... I don't even think I was using like half of my monk abilities. Don't worry. I've got lots of time to improve at the monk job. But yes, thank you all so much for joining Nismith and Blair and Nauka. Let's get back to the story, huh? Time's a factor.
You've beaten me, aye. But you cannot stop what I've begun. Behold, a glimpse of things to come.
We did it! We showed the bastards!
Aye! Victory is ours!
And who knows, lads? Mayhap the Eorzeans will finally see sense when the enemy turns up on their bloody doorstep.
This is for Alamigo, for Eorzea. They die that others may live.
Vanguards! Attack!
Seven hells. Do you hear that?
War machines. How did they get here so quickly?
Stand your ground! For the resistance!
There's nowhere to run. We're cut off.
Gods help us. What were we thinking? The Empire's too big. Too powerful. Mighty Rolker, grant us the strength to crush our...
There you are. As you can see, our infiltrators did not elude me for long. Lady Ugiri is sending for an airship even as we speak.
What do we do? This is a massacre!
How wonderful to see you, Commander.
Illbird. I should have known. This has to end. It has to end now. Do you not see your countrymen dying? Have your ideals rendered you blind even to that? Order the retreat, and we will help your soldiers to safety.
Retreat? With the moment of my triumph so close at hand? You truly are a sheltered child, Leverrier.
Nidhogg's eyes. No abyss is too deep for you, I see. But trust me when I say that such power was not meant for mortal hands.
How long have I struggled to reach this point? My countrymen, so inured to the taste of defeat, they no longer balk at its bitterness, shouting my throat raw with rallying cries, only to be greeted with dull eyes and blank faces. My brothers and sisters in Ulda have surrendered to their apathy and their appetites. Were it not for the glint of Lodorito's coin, I doubt even those here now would have answered my call. Take back our homeland! Free Al Amigo! Ha! They'll happily mouth the words, but they won't spill the blood. You say no mortal should wield these eyes? Then I shall gladly become a demon. I will suckle on the souls of the hopeless and liberate the homeland they no longer deserve.
What exactly do you mean to do?
Did you hear their cries as victory was snatched away from them? Even with their dying breaths, they cursed the Empire. Never has their desire for vengeance been so raw, so true. A god has no need of faith when summoned by so pure a purpose.
Summoned? You cannot mean to fight the Empire with a primal! You know full well the danger, the futility of relying on such power!
Oh yes, I know their limitations. Which is why I will call upon a deity more terrible than the very black worm of the calamity itself.
What? Here? Now?
Like hells you will!
An ending to mark a new beginning. My pain, my longing, You shall have it all!
This light, is it?
His death completed the ritual. The primal is taking shape.
Well, can't we stop it? There must be something we can do!
There is one thing.
What? Hey! Where do you think you're going?
Master Louisoix briefly contained Bahamut by means of a potent spell of sealing. I will now attempt to do the same.
But that's impossible! We would need hours to collect the necessary ether, if not days!
Alphino, though I concede it may not always be apparent, I was ever your grandsire's finest pupil.
Tiptimati, of course! The staff still holds enormous power, broken or not.
Don't you dare, Papalymo! I know how that spell works. It is time to leave!
Quite right. Quickly now, off you go! The further away, the better!
No! If you're staying, then so am I!
No, Ida! There is a path only you can walk, and it must not end here, not like this! Take her! Please, you have to take her!
What? No! Damn it, Thancred! Put me down! Thancred!
This is one battle you cannot fight. Away with you! Go!
Trust in Papalymo and leave on the airship. Stay at Papalymo's side. I have faith in him.
Hilda! I think he means now!
I bid thee farewell again, my dear Ida. Now, let us see how good a student I truly was.
And here we are. How many more must we lose? I understand only too well the desire to reclaim one's homeland, but I cannot condone such slaughter. It has been explained to me what that light represents, and I have ordered our forces to stand ready. It seems we can do little else but wait. Every Ishgardian gets taught that the Sea of Clouds churns in the grip of the warring elements of water and wind. Enough to tear you apart, they say. No one's ever gone to the bottom of the abyss and lived to tell the tale. So how did that bastard manage to get his hands on Nidhogg's eyes? That's a good question. Can we still see the, Yep. Glad that's visible. Papalymo knew what he was doing. I could not refuse him. Why? Why didn't they let me stay? Papalymo is my friend. I should have been there with him. You could see it in his eyes, Ida. He knew what he was doing, what had to be done. Master Louisoix wore that same look right before the end. Do you think I don't know that? I know, all right? I know. There's nothing more you could have done. Ilbert caught us all off guard. Even Durman was powerless to stop him. If you must blame someone, then blame me. Just promise me you'll never forget what Papalymo strove to protect, or the lessons he tried to teach you. Don't speak to me. Leave Ida with me. Go on. Go back to the Rising Stones. The others need to know what happened here. All right. It's over, Papalymo. It's all over. Leave her be. Nothing you can say will console her now. That's the same, and a lot of this might be the same as well. Yeah. It is plain that recent events have shaken Alphinaud to the core. Once again, I find myself at a loss for words. But Thancred is right. We must return to the Rising Stones and apprise our companions of all of this. Pray make your way there at once. I'll send word to Y'shtola and the others of our imminent return. Sounds good. I'll just go ahead and... Yeah, let's just go ahead and... Not an occasion for dallying. I would do the rounds, but it doesn't feel like the time. Why does everyone look so grim? Has something happened? Say something, for heaven's sake. "'Twould seem you bring ill tidings, brother." "Aye. Behind the Griffin's mask, we found the grinning face of an old adversary, Ilbert. I know not how, but he had in his possession the eyes of Nidhogg, whose dread power he used to initiate a summoning ritual, even as we looked on. By the 12. I don't understand. To attempt such a magic requires every ons of one's ether. Not one, not even grandfather could cast it and hope to survive. Indeed, it was ever a last resort, as I'm certain Papalymo was aware. Thus did the pupil follow in the footsteps of his master, even unto the grave. I have as yet been unable to explain how Ilberd came to possess Nidhogg's eyes. In the depths of the sea of clouds, a perpetual storm of water and wind-aspected ether rages. No mortal could endure such conditions. Then mayhap it was the work of an Ascian. But now is not the time for idle speculation. Kryl, I have need of your assistance. Yes, of course. We must inspect the cocoon of light and ascertain the state of the primal trapped within. Between our respective talents, I dare say we shall glean some measure of insight. Understood. I can't promise I'll be able to sense much through the barrier, but I shall certainly do my best. As shall I. Let us be about it then. What? Without so much as a by your leave? Pray forgive Archon Y'shtola her brevity. She seeketh employment, lest her grief deprive her of the will to act. A desire to comfort Ida doubtless compoundeth her unseemly haste. I too must contend with this grievous loss in mine own way. By thy leave, Lady Alice, I shall honor our fallen colleague through gainful study. There exist writings which may yet further our understanding of this cocoon of light. Mayhap I was too quick to judge. Surrendering to sadness and regret would be a poor tribute to Papalymo's sacrifice. Quite. We must begin preparations to face Ilberd's accursed creation without delay. What time we have was purchased at too dear a price for us to squander it. Well said. Well, I think, if I'm not mistaken, hang on, let me double check. Yes, I believe that concludes the story events of this here patch. We've probably only got 2, at most 3 episodes remaining before it's Stormblood time. But much has happened today, so I will leave you all with that, and I will see you all next week, I believe, as we begin the home stretch towards Stormblood. There is much to look forward to, but I'll see you next time. Goodbye!